the years, our priorities always are adjusted. And of course, one of our big priorities also is climate change. And so part of our advocacy in climate change is to really promote renewable energy. So when you look at even how we make investments, many of our investments were originally in fossil fuel, particularly in gas. We never invested in coal. But over the last many years, our priority really has been in geothermal through EDC. So when you look at our balance sheet, for the longest time, our gas assets were probably the bigger portion of our investments. But today, our biggest investment actually is in EDC. Now, the reason why I say that is that when EDC generates earnings, what we do with those earnings is we reinvest it in more geothermal investments, particularly. So this is important because this year was a very important year for us for EDC because we needed to catch up on the drilling program. The issue kasi with geothermal is that unlike solar, sa solar medyo simple lang eh. You install mo yung solar panel, may inverter, and then hopefully there's sun, you generate that into electricity. Yung geothermal mas complicated because you have to drill 2.5-3 kilometers deep, you extract yung steam, and then you generate the electricity. No? The problem with that is that the well itself that you extract, where you extract steam from the ground, is also may wear and tear yan. No? So after about 5 years, we need to drill another well so that we can extract the same steam from roughly the same area. So part of our priorities this year was really to accelerate the drilling program. No? And I mentioned in the past that over the next 2 to 3 years, we have a 40 well drilling program, of which roughly we've been able to do 20 wells this year. Okay? And part of that was driven by the fact that we were able to bring in more drilling rigs. We started the year, EDC, started the year with 1 drilling rig. 1 lang. Okay? Right now, we have 7 drilling rigs in operations in our various sites. So can you imagine from 1 drilling rig to 7 drilling rigs? So in Leyte, for example, we have 4 drilling rigs operating simultaneously. That's unheard of in the history of EDC. So right now, we have had a successful drilling campaign. Okay, the benefit of which we will benefit from that beginning next year. Kasi it doesn't mean na just because you drill the well, magkaka-output kagad yan. But hopefully, all of that will start contributing to the electricity being produced from geothermal from next year onwards. Tumaas ang presyo. No? Because tumaas ang presyo, it creates complication for us. Kasi I think it's well and good if Malampaya was sufficient for all of our requirements. No? I think the nice thing about it, when you step back, is the country continues to develop from an economic perspective. We're trying to attract more investment. But if we're going to attract more investment, we really need power supply. No? Right now, we're already reliant on 62% coal. So, and yet our coal bill is so expensive. I think we estimated that in 2023 alone, when you look at the 30 plus, I have the figure, you know, our coal bill was something like $4 billion of coal importation. No? That doesn't help energy security because basically that also makes sure that that essentially increases our reliance on imported fossil fuel. No? And then when you look at our customers, many of our customers are now more particular about clean or renewable. So what we really have to do is have DOE support our initiative to move essentially away from coal in favor of gas and renewable energy. In fairness, the policies are there. The PEP shows that we need to build more gas. The PEP shows that we need to build more renewable energy, diba? So what we need to do is to make sure that in order for us to do that, okay, the DOE has to take the next step to make sure that those investments come in. So for example, as you know, there's a coal moratorium. And in fairness, even a country like Indonesia has a coal moratorium. And we get all of our coal supply practically from Indonesia. So even Indonesia, who supplies us coal, has a coal moratorium. So it's not unreasonable for a country like the Philippines to have a coal moratorium as well. Diba? And so Indonesia is also trying to move towards more renewable energy and more clean energy. Here we are, okay, we need to import all of that. Then why might as well move towards the clean and renewable energy already? Because if we're going to import, we might as well import cleaner sources of electricity. And the DOE can play a very important part in that, and sending the right signal to the developers. We're going through a very critical phase, no? And it's all about execution. If the policies seem to be there, but the way we implement these policies, or even EPIRA, as I mentioned, is so delayed. So we have to be more proactive in making sure those policies translate into investment, translate into a balanced situation of coming up with good policies, good regulation, but also to provide incentives for investors like ourselves to make more investments in the generation side of the power sector. That means that if they do it right, we can bring in more investments. If they do it wrong, then it will reduce the attractiveness for us to make those investments. So I guess to basically, I just want to make sure I'm clear. The next few years are very critical. No? How we address the feasibility of LNG will be super critical for the country's energy security. If we don't do that right, then why will we build Santa Maria? Diba? And when you think about Santa Maria is the easiest gas-fired plant to be built because it already has effectively all of the permits. Diba? But we won't build it unless we have terms and conditions that are favorable for us to make that investment, because it's a big investment. And the nice thing about Santa Maria is it will be the most modern facility of its kind in the country. By definition, it also uses less gas to produce the kilowatt-hour production. Kasi the efficiency of the new technology is even better than the Santa Rita, San Lorenzo, San Gabriel. And even it'll be more efficient than any other facility that's also being built in the country. I hope I've given you a clear, I've communicated to you clearly that across all our platform, all of our platform, no, portfolio, na there's been a lot of activity. So if you ask me, in gas, may wish list ako, is to make sure that LNG, okay, becomes feasible for the country to address energy security. That's super important for our country. Okay? For hydro, yun, medyo, my wish list is for more water for our hydroelectric power plant so that we can deliver more electricity. But also to optimize that investment for San Kasikdan. And then for geothermal, hopefully, we will be able to deliver more capacity next year, to deliver more 24-hour baseload renewable energy to our consumers. So medyo madami ang wish list ko. Diba? And then, the last one, well, not the other one is, I also wish for us to be able to successfully start up in a big way our solar aspiration. Okay? And then, the fifth one really is more balanced regulation. No? EPIRA, for example, we need to execute EPIRA. The market also has to appreciate that when you are trying to attract merchant investment, that you have to incentivize merchant investment. And these are things are not naman complicated, but we have to make sure that they're implemented properly.